What's up, guys? Hopefully we're back and got another exciting episode of Inside the Green Room. I want to get to a few things, but first the sponsors. Head over to www.johnbartoloshow.com and go check out a complete list of the sponsors there. We appreciate all the support. Supporting the sponsors is like supporting us, so go check a few of them out. I want to thank a few of them now: Gallo Tech, Rhino Metals, Blackwater Ammunition, of course, 6 Hour, Pulsar Thermal Imaging Technology, Kenzie's Optics, Right On Optics, and of course, all the brands listed on the website are all supporters of the show. We do our best to thank as many of them through the episodes. I want to give special thanks to the Warrior Poet Society Network. If you haven't subscribed, go check it out. Use the code Bartolo. Go check out the Warrior Poet Society Network. Phenomenal network. If you haven't supported them, it's a great group of guys running it. Go check it out. And you can get my stuff plus a whole bunch of other stuff. Grab a little sip here. There's a lot I want to get to. For starters, Nra Show Was Cancelled. Shocker. We had talked about it leading up to this show. We got into some of that. I'm going to be coming back to that. We'll talk about some of the reasons, some of the things I think that are going on, but I want to get to a few of the headlines that you guys have brought up and talk about a couple of the past guests. So recently, as today, articles were coming out. Even last night, news was breaking that Chipman was going to be stepped down as the nominee for the ATF. And this is a win, and of course, I'm going to tie this all back into the NRA and everything else. Of course, everybody's scrambling around now to get some kind of credit, you know, as if we're not going to end up with another nominee from hell. Of course we will. This just prolongs the process, which is fine, which is good, which does work out in many ways. But I want to make everybody aware that, of course, you're going to see this scramble for credit. I think it's a collective effort. I think everybody's done a great job, especially a lot of the proud new gun owners, of course. And I think that they're off on gun rights and the perception of firearms in the communities right now, especially a lot of the new shooters. So I think that the Biden administration is having a hard time sifting through to figure out where the gun issue is going to go for them. And I don't think it's gone to plan. So you're going to see everybody scramble around for credit, and you're going to see everybody kind of look for that moment, that PR moment, like we did this. And I'm sure everybody's going to chime in. I think it's a collective effort, and I think it's more of an effort on the part of the people. Yeah, the nominee from hell. So, and I'll be reading any super chats or anything you guys send in, so I appreciate that. And we may go a couple minutes over because there's a lot to cover. Now, I want to tie that back into the NRA show being canceled. A lot of people said, why was it canceled? Was it COVID and blah, blah, blah. There's a couple factors here. And I'm not saying this to punish the NRA or to talk them up, because I'm going to approach it from a couple of angles here that people got to understand. The NRA show, the NRA and the NSSF through SHOT Show and the NRA shows, like many other organizations, they make money on selling booth space. Okay, they like to sell overpriced booth space. They take a piece of real estate, they upcharge it, and they sell it. Okay, it's like a Florida land sale in the 1980s. You know, you'd call up, and for $300,000, you could have swampland underwater. Now, what they're figuring out, what companies are figuring out, is that they can use COVID as an excuse, as the perfect out to be like, we're not going to do SHOT, and they can reclaim that money. Because what the companies are figuring out during COVID is that there's far more in streaming and in social media and in other areas to put that spend. They're just not getting the same out of the spend. Now, if NRA and NSSF were smart, they would reboot how they approach these shows, and they would reboot their money-making strategy. They won't do that. They won't do that. They're going to double down on the same way they've always done things, which is either through fear or through some other tactic that gets you to do a small spend but become a part of their ecosystem and so on and so forth, and then you feel compelled or indoctrinated into their system to participate and continue to give money, if that makes sense to everybody. Now, the devil's advocate for the NRA, and I think there was some of this going on, in fairness, because I try to be fair, try to beat people up equally, try to be fair. I think what did go on a little bit was there were companies that it just wasn't worth the trip, whether it was because of regulations in their state, and I'm talking about risking the perception that they were getting people sick or whatever, and they're limited in the ability to produce as it is, okay? They're at max capacity. Most companies are running 2 and 3 shifts. Okay. Now, I get that. I also wanted to touch on, I had Ryan Bates on. I had a bunch of great guests throughout the week, but we talked a little bit about the ammo thing. And people are starting to tell me that they're seeing ammo come around. And that's good. I'm glad you're starting to see ammo, prices come back to reality a little bit, like not being sold on that second or third market. But make no mistake, guys, pay very close attention to what goes on in the ammo community in the coming weeks and months, because with the embargoes and sanctions and everything else that's come down and the waivers being applied for, you're going to see a lot of jockeying around in the ammo industry for where that's all going to play out. And it is a story. It's 100% a story. We've been seeing this since the Vista purchase of Remington in their capacity. Mainly that's what they were buying, is the capacity, the ability to produce more. So it's going to be really interesting, and I'm starting to see Sig Sauer do what we discussed on this show, and we've discussed was coming for a while, produce lower cost ammo than everybody else. Why? Because they know they can get that market share, and Vista's scared to death of them getting it. And they're gonna. Just watch. Because they already have everything else. It's easy for them to swoop in and sell you the ammo too. It's genius. Smart in so many ways. Now, with all that being said, I touched on guests we had. We had an awesome time with Forrest Griffin. If you guys haven't checked out the Forrest Griffin show, go check out the Forrest Griffin show. Awesome show. Tremendous UFC legend. What a guy. Phenomenal show. We had a lot of laughs. It was great to have Forrest in here finally. He's always around. I just hadn't got around to getting him. But man, that guy had some wars. He had some wars. We didn't talk a lot about the ring stuff. We talked a lot about the fighters and the work he's doing at the UFC now, which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to come back to the SIG thing, Hammond. Now, with that being said, okay, we're going to do our best to continue to keep a diverse roster of guests, and I'm going to get to how that plays out between now, the end of the year, and leading into SHOT Show, and what I think that will look like. But if you haven't checked out the Forrest Griffin show, Ryan Bates, Diana Dahlgren, if you haven't checked that show out, what a great show. What an awesome couple, phenomenal people. We had another opportunity. We're trying to get Katie back on, BB Bratt, who was on previously. Recently, we had some updates in her job and everything that's going on with her. What a phenomenal podcast if you haven't checked that one out. She's a nurse. She's dealing with not wanting to get the vaccination and what she's going through with that. But what a great story if you haven't checked it out. Go check it out. And just this past Monday, we had Mr. Burns on, Brendan Burns. So he has a great cause, a great foundation. He's speaking up. He's speaking up at these school boards and in these meetings, and he's trying to push the conversation. So go check him out and everything he's standing for on the last episode. That was this past Monday. Phenomenal. Now, going forward, we handled some of the housekeeping things. Now, going forward, a lot of people have asked me what I think is going to happen, whether or not I think SHOT Show is going to happen, whether or not I think this is going to happen or that's going to happen, whatever. I think SHOT Show will not happen, okay? We talked about this on my show last year when we went through this. If you guys remember, we had some guests on. We had Jessica Govin on. She commented on it, and she works in the trade show industry. She said it's not going to happen, and we stood by that. And I advised companies the same. So it's not going to happen. Plan around it. If it was me and I had a company, it would be a great time to reclaim that money that I would otherwise spend on that show. Now, I'm not anti-show, but I'm trying to tell everybody, hey, plan now, okay? Plan now and build your workaround. And hopefully companies listen. I don't think it'll happen. And I do think it's just the shakeup needed. So, appreciate that. I want to get to the topic of drunk 3PO. Everybody's familiar with drunk 3PO. Jay's been a guest on the show. Recently, there's rumors that he may have lost a Twitter account. He's been focusing a lot of his content on Instagram. We'll see. We'll see. Got a question here. John, you should do a shooting range video with the Geeks and Gamers crew. Would be entertaining. It probably will, to say the least. They don't strike me as master gunsmiths, but we'll see. I think in Jeremy's mind, he thinks he's dead shot, but Be fun. We'd have some fun. Those guys are great. And Drunk 3PO recently, he's been battling the Twitter Tower of Babel to reclaim his place in the universe. So try to support him. Free Drunk 3PO. That's what I say. Free Drunk 3PO. So hopefully he gets his page back, or his feed, whatever you call it, Twitter feed. So hopefully he gets that back. I want to touch on the Joe Rogan thing. I got to touch on it, the COVID Joe Rogan thing. And these are fresh topics, things moving forward. Interestingly enough, obviously, Joe Rogan came down with COVID, and everybody knows that at this point. And as of the date of this show, he's been recovering fine. He's been doing, phenomenal. And he was very open about what he did, his procedure, on how he was going to get healthy and how he was going to take care of his body. Now, whatever your reasons, I think everybody, regardless of vaccination or anything, I think everybody should have the right to choose what they want to put in their body. And I think everybody would agree with that. Okay? Joe Rogan goes to his doctor, has a conversation with his doctor that he decides to share with us, and the doctor decides to put him on ivermectin and all that stuff. I think that's fine. But everybody who jumps on the Twitter Tower of Babel and everything else and persecutes him, there's no doubt that CNN was full of crap. So I'm not exactly eternally optimistic that CNN's going to publish it as it happened. But they've been saying he took horse tranquilizers or something. Something like that. It's like I don't know if the word was tranquilizer, but it was something. That he was taking a horse something and, whatever. But it's not true. And then it's a completely ridiculous, it's like saying if you took penicillin and a horse took penicillin, then you took the horse version of penicillin. That's what you took. You took horse penicillin. So, I don't know. If you could, I don't know what it was. It's on horse dewormer. Somebody said it finally. Perfect. Horse dewormer. Now, the other thing I want to bring up is upcoming guests. A lot of people have asked me about upcoming guests. Get this one on, get that one on. We're going to work on getting a few people on that I've had my eyes on. Again, NRA getting canceled kind of throws me a little for a loop for a week, figuring out, who we're plugging in and who we're not and what renovations we're doing here, because we are doing some studio renovations. But coming up, we have Mike from V Knives. If you guys haven't checked out V Knives, Mike's a pretty cool guy. I like the product. He's a good dude. We spent some time together. He was just recently here at the Blade Show, The Gathering. So that was cool. So Mike will be coming on shortly. I'm working on that. We're still working on a Gina Carano appearance. That's in the cards. There's some things that have come up. Believe me, I'm re-engaging the pursuit of getting that done for you guys. A lot of people have asked for Misha Tate. We'll work on Misha Tate. How about that? Brendan Moreno, the first Mexican-born UFC champion, is in the cards. He's in the works, so I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a great story. Max Michel will be out here. I'm working on getting an hour with Max, so hopefully I can bring you that. I'm working on all these different deals, so I'll do the best I can. We do have a special announcement. 6 Hour is officially going to be a part of the show. There will be some things that you'll notice, so pay attention. Shout out to 6 Hour. Appreciate those guys. And I appreciate all you guys. Everybody who supported the show, shared it, watched it, tapped thumbs up, all the above. I can't thank you guys enough. We really, the more you can, the littlest things you can do, it doesn't always have to be a super chat. The littlest things you can do can help the most and are the most appreciated. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I do want to reiterate a couple things before we close out. We talked about the whole deal with NRA being canceled and where I think it's going to go. I think we're going to see the beginning of the end of what we knew as the show culture in the industry. And I do think SHOT Show will be canceled. And if it's not canceled, it should be. It should be. What are you giggling at back there? What do you see? Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about, something somebody said. No, I think we all do. And I think there's reasons for that. And I think the show culture and the way shows are shaped are going to change. Now, my plea to the NSSF is always the same thing. I'll help you for free. for free. $0. How many times have I given this offer? Every time.
Too many times.
Too many times. I'm free. I'll do anything. But get it right.
I mean, this year it's going to be a bunch of booths of everybody else again showing off their new and, improved rail system. And, we haven't seen anything groundbreaking the last 2 years, have we? I mean,
I said this. It's not that cool stuff doesn't come out. Cool stuff comes out. Yeah. And I think in soft goods, we've made a lot of strides. I've said that before. I think we've, the pants and the shirts, you can actually wear the fucking things now.
Yeah.
10 years ago, you couldn't wear shit in the tactical industry. You looked like a goon. But you did. You just looked like a goon. But, you looked like you were an EMT, lost EMT. So I think that there has been good that's come out of it. And I think that that shows do have a place. They just have to change how they do them.
Yeah.
Because there's no excitement. And it's the way they do it. And I said it earlier, it's overpriced space being sold. It's overpriced swampland. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have a lot better success just doing a virtual show. Something.
Anything's better than what they're doing. And I'm not saying they have to go totally virtual, but creating a more experience. Yeah, I mean, Hammond of Texas just said it's M-Lock, bro. You're exactly right. I mean, that's what you get at those shows. And I was joking earlier. I posted the video from Happy Gilmore when what's-his-face plays the orderly.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is. What's his name? But he plays the orderly, and he goes, he extends arts and crafts time by like 4 hours. So that's literally the gun industry right now. Now with no NRA, they're like, good news. We've just extended arts and crafts time for 4 more hours.
So
this is handmade quality shit we're talking.
I know, right?
This is great quality
handmade
shit.
Quality AR-15.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have that in the industry, and that's just people trying to design a bigger, better mousetrap.
Yo, Rye Bread just said Sig's the only one coming out with new stuff.
That's true. I mean, I'm not saying that, Rye Bread, I'm not saying that to be a homer. I think there's truth to that. I think FN does some cool stuff, from time to time. But I think Sig is one of the more innovative players, and it's crazy we're saying that.
I mean, what?
It wasn't always that way.
FN just said, we changed the charging handle on the Scar. Woo. But
at least they try.
At least they try. But then you look at the Sig Spear, and you're like, ooh, I want one of those.
At least they try. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. Now, with that being said, guys, I don't say SHOT Show being canceled I don't say that with excited. I think it just has to change.
Well, and also look at the fact so Apple, right? Apple's an amazing marketing company as itself, right?
That's pretty much what it is, yeah.
Right? They recently changed over to where they just do that streaming event ever since COVID.
Right.
And they invite everybody in the world to come watch their streaming event. So it's not just media in the building. Anybody can watch the streaming event. And NSSF could have done,
there's a lot. The NSSF has way more possibilities. And in my opinion, there has been the grossest, egregious acts by the NSSF, lack of acts. They literally have a pipeline right into the FFLs. They should have a channel that the FFLs watch. They should have streaming all the time. And I do think they should be championing that stuff. And I know I disagree with some people around the industry about who should champion the marketing, and I get that. Totally get it. Somebody said earlier we should have Tony Sentmanat back on. We will. Tony's going to be in town. He's going to be in town in a couple weeks. He's here every couple weeks. I can't put him on all the time. It's not that kind of deal. But we will get Tony back on, for sure, to everybody out there. That's easy. I want to do another one with Jay Cutler, 4-time Mr. Olympia. At some point, I'd love to have Jay back on. He's doing his podcast now. I want to support him, and I want to support his show. Any way I can. And shout out to the entire Geeks and Gamers crowd. Again, everybody from Geeks and Gamers, I appreciate your support. I see you. And we'll get back to doing more giveaways with a lot of those guys and gals because I appreciate them so much. And I agree with you. The show is grossly undersubscribed. And I appreciate you when you say that. But it's only going to get there if we can get more people behind it. So I appreciate everybody and all the support. Now, with that being said, I think we've covered everything.
Did you talk about the Chipman thing? Did you want to talk about that?
The Chipman thing. I did, but you stepped out. But we touched on it briefly. I'll come back to it really fast. Everybody's going to scramble around for credit with the Chipman thing, and you're going to see that play out. I think he was a terrible nominee from the start in a tough environment to push a nominee through, and I do think that the Biden administration has grossly miscalculated the support for the firearms industry in light of everything that's happened during COVID. I don't think in their wildest dreams they imagined that they would have tens of millions of new gun owners out there. And they don't know all the data yet, and that's why they're tiptoeing around this. And I think in their own way, it looks good that their nominee got tossed because now they can kind of cool on gun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they're going to do. You're going to see them cool a little bit on it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I think.
They said just even that first year alone of COVID was 8 million new gun owners. I guarantee there's probably more than that. Because how many friends gave other friends guns that needed guns? How many family members passed down guns to other people that needed guns? I mean, we're probably talking 15 million probably, even then.
I would say at least that. Yeah, I would say at least that. I mean, it has to be.
I agree.
And then you have people that are reinvigorated. The other 10 or 15 million that are laying around are reinvigorated.
Oh, yeah.
To support. And they're spending money in the industry, which in a way churns the butter, which adds to the support. So, but that's the Chipman thing. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. We'll see how it plays out. I'm sure another nominee from hell will show up.
Yeah, the fight's not over.
Another fucking nominee from hell. It'll come out of the back room like the fucking Undertaker.
Yeah.
And there'll be somebody. They'll dig someone up. But it is mind-blowing. I have been recently posting. I'll touch on this, then we'll get out of here because I know we've gone a little long. But, look, I know I've been critical lately. I legitimately, I know this isn't going to be a popular answer with a lot of you. But you try to give Biden a chance. And I think some of you did that if you're honest with yourself. Lately, I've been posting because the gloves are off.
Yeah.
It's just getting weird now. I mean, I thought it was weird. I was never for the guy from Jump Street. I think everybody knows that. But you try to give, okay, let's see where this 30 days go. Let's see where that goes.
Yeah.
You never know. Wow.
But now.
Wow.
Now.
Wow.
Did you see the Qataris came in and saved our ass?
Wow.
And flew Americans out today?
Wow.
Might have been yesterday.
And I touched on the Afghanistan thing. That whole thing's an abomination. There's really, I could sit here and try to CNN it or Fox News it to death. It's an abomination, no matter how you slice it.
We're 2 days from now. We're on the 20th anniversary of September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the kind of thing that leads up to that from our country.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And look, the whole thing's a shit sandwich. And there's a lot of people taking a bite now. I know a lot of people around the industry are jumping in to help out. There's a lot of different organizations trying to get people out and trying to do the right thing. There's no question the firearms left behind is a joke. There's no question about a lot of these things. I get it. I totally understand. And I know to everybody out there, you might want to hear me talk about some stuff more than others. Look, when something is pretty common sense, I'm going to say it like it is. But I think having the conversation of pushing the dialogue is always a good thing. So if you guys want to hear more about it, I'm all for it. What do I think of Afghanistan? It's a shit sandwich. It's a shit sandwich. And it totally speaks to the kind of laissez-faire approach to foreign policy that they have. It's like, today, we'll just let 5 million people in. Undocumented.
Yeah, we still got a major air base in Qatar, too.
Yeah. So, and they had, we can beat it to death. I don't want to. There's tons of logistical, tactical things they could have done differently. I'm not going to comment on them because someone somewhere is going to say, you don't know tactics. You don't know. I know we shouldn't have went to that airport. How about that? And
especially when we had a whole entire air base, at Bagram,
Yeah. So.
Let's give a shout out to Michelle. She got engaged.
Yeah, I'm reading that. I'm like, what the heck?
Now.
Yeah.
They're getting married on December 21st.
December 21st. Congrats. Okay, Michelle O'Rourke. Shout out. I appreciate all you guys. I think that covers everything. I think we nailed everything. But thank you guys. I truly mean it. Thank you for the support of the show. Please share. The more you guys can put this stuff out there, whether it's the clips, anything else, it helps. Every little bit helps. And I appreciate the tweets I've seen undersubscribed. I'll share those if anybody pushes them out there. After this, go check out another video. Go support any number of the sponsors over at www.johnbartoloshow.com. Always having trouble getting that out. www.
Just say johnbartoloshow.com.
johnbartoloshow.com. Go check out Galotech. Go check out Rhino Metals. All the sponsors are phenomenal, guys. From Galco all the way to Volquartsen. Go check out some of them. Support them. Send them a message. Go thank them. Go like a post of theirs. We appreciate them. And I want to thank all you guys. Okay? Appreciate everybody. Appreciate everyone's support. Go check out the Warrior Poet Society Network. Thank you to Sig Sauer. We're out.